Thinking of exploring Japan for the first time? From the neon lights of Tokyo to the tranquil landscapes throughout the country, planning your dream trip can be both exciting and overwhelming. In this video, I will guide you through everything you need to know to make your first Japanese adventure unforgettable. We'll cover airfare, budget, itinerary, lodging, and transportation, so you will know how to navigate Japan like a pro. Whether it's your first time traveling out of the country or you're a seasoned traveler, you can be sure you will learn something helpful. Let's dive into the ultimate guide to planning your first trip to Japan. So you're ready to explore Japan, but the big question is, when should you go? Japan is a country with distinct seasons, each offering its own unique experiences. Let's break down how to choose the perfect time for your trip. First, think about the time of year that best fits your schedule and what you want to experience. For us, the best time is winter. Work is slow, and the off-season is a perfect time for us because everything is more affordable and less crowded. So we usually choose February as our ideal month. But let's say, like many travelers, you prefer spring, especially in March, when the cherry blossoms are in full bloom. It's an iconic time to visit Japan. Alternatively, you might like fall for the vibrant reds and oranges of the autumn leaves. The point is to choose what time you prefer. Now, let's talk about how long you should stay. For us, we decided at least 2 weeks. Given the long flight and the cost of traveling afar, we wanted ample time to explore and soak everything Japan has to offer. But if you only got a week, don't worry. You can still have a fantastic trip. Just focus on a few key destinations. A 10-day trip gives you a bit more room to explore, while a whole month allows you to immerse yourself even deeper. So whether you're dreaming about seeing the cherry blossoms or going in fall or the winter for 1 week or a month, the key is to plan according to your schedule and your interests. Once you decide your travel dates and duration, now you're one step closer to getting to the fun part, which is booking your airfare. This is the most important part of planning your trip. Once you book your flight, your trip becomes official, no longer an idea. And when it comes to flying to Japan, my top tip is to book your flight at least a year in advance. Trust me, waiting for the last minute deals might sound tempting, but it often leads to higher costs overall, especially when it comes to lodging. If you plan to use airline points to snag a first or business class flight so you can travel in comfort and style, you most definitely want to start early. Planning ahead gives you the chance to compare prices for flights and hotels across different weeks and seasons that you prefer. This way you can snag the best deal. Most international flights to Tokyo land at Narita Airport, which is about an hour away from the city center, so keep that in mind. However, if you get a flight to Haneda Airport, it's just about 30 minutes from central Tokyo. Now, if you're feeling a bit adventurous, you can go to different airports within Japan or come in through another country. For example, on our second trip, we found an amazing deal leaving from the United States, flying into South Korea. We spent the weekend there and then we hopped over to Fukuoka, Japan. It's a fun way to see more places and potentially can save you money on your flights. Just make sure you are flexible and plan ahead. Know your arrival times and which airport you will land can also help you organize the rest of your trip. So whether you're flying in through Tokyo or planning a multi-destination adventure, a little preparation does go a long way. So once you do this, we can move on to the next step, which is your itinerary and trip budget. This is one of the trickiest parts of planning your trip. Japan is a country with so much to offer, and when you start planning, you quickly realize there's a lot of information out there. It can be overwhelming to figure out what's a must-do and what's worth skipping. Trust me, I've been there, and a big challenge faced is balancing your interests with your budget and time. There's always a never-ending list of things to see and do, but in reality, you only have so much time and money, so you have to make some tough decisions. Ask yourself, what will I regret not seeing? What is the aspect of my trip that I look forward to the most? What is my realistic trip budget? Therefore, what can I spend daily? Plan around these answers. On our first trip, we decided to focus mostly on Tokyo due to our budget, and our main focuses were Gundam, figure shopping, and food. Our second trip, we were already familiar with Japan, so we took a different approach. we found creative and affordable ways to travel across the country, which was definitely worth the extra planning. One tool that really helped us with planning was the app Wanderlog. It's a fantastic free app for organizing your itinerary and keeping track of your budget. And this is not sponsored, it's just honestly a great app that we've used. Now let's move on to the next biggest expense in your trip outside of airfare, which is hotel and lodging. Choosing the right accommodation can be a little overwhelming because of all the options available, but choosing the right place to stay for your adventure can help you travel smarter and enjoy every moment of your trip. Location. When you're visiting the area, you want to position yourself in a central location from all the activities you have planned in that area. This is when your itinerary comes in handy. It will help you narrow down your options. For example, on our first trip, we decided to stay in Ueno for 12 nights since we were sticking to Tokyo only. It may seem like a long time, but since it was so centrally located by a main train line, it made it convenient, saved us money, and the hassle of moving the luggage around was not a problem. Another thing you want to consider is the type of accommodation. In Japan, you have hotels, capsule hotels, hostels, ryokan, and Airbnbs. And depending on your budget and accommodation preferences, any of these options can truly work. Most options are usually smaller than Western hotels, but are affordable and offer many free amenities. I plan to make a more detailed video soon on just accommodations, and feel free to check out our blog with reviews of all the hotels we've stayed at and links to them. The right accommodation can truly enhance your travel experience. Consider your itinerary, budget, and location carefully to make the most out of your trip. Finally, transportation. Transportation could be one of the most intimidating things when someone is coming to a new country. But fortunately, Japan has one of the best transportation systems in the world, especially their train system that goes throughout the whole country of Japan. And in Tokyo, there's endless lines that can get you anywhere you want. You also have options of buses, overnight buses, ferries, car rental, and taxis. So there's always a way to go through Japan. Now, what is going to be the most affordable and best option for you depends on your itinerary. If you're just going to stay in Tokyo, then maybe just getting a Pasmo or Suica card and using the train would be the best option for you. These are versatile cards that you can use to get around effortlessly throughout the city, and you can easily reload anywhere. Or if you're going to travel throughout the country, you might want to consider the Japan Rail Pass, which is a discounted pass just for foreigners that for a limited amount of days you can use to get on the train to go to different places in the country. Now, I plan to make a more detailed video to give you an idea of how to choose the best option for you based on your itinerary. But do not be intimidated by this system. You may get lost, but that's just part of the process. But the transportation is top-notch, clean, and efficient. And that's it. That's all you need to know to plan your first trip to Japan like a pro. Just carefully plan some of the details so once you're there, you can enjoy and have an unforgettable adventure in this incredible country. Thank you again for watching. I'd love to hear from you. Do you have any tips or questions about traveling to Japan? Share them with me in the comments below and I will answer you. And don't forget to subscribe to check out my next video for Japan travel tips and stories.